Alright, 2026 is not the time to play around. 2026, we're done playing around. We are getting our act together. But I don't mean completely revamping who we are and changing everything. No, we're starting with small habits because small habits make big changes. So let's reset. I feel like there's always so much pressure around the new year to have a completely new identity, which I totally fall victim to as well. I feel like when the new year hits, I need to become a completely different person and I put so much pressure on myself. So this video is going to be the opposite of that. I think a key thing to remember is that small habits make big changes. And going into 2026, a big thing for me is not completely revamping who I am as a person, but just getting rid of the habits that I feel are holding me back. So this New Year's reset is less about perfection and more about redirecting our focus, breaking bad habits, and creating a realistic and intentional routine to help you set up your year and make this the best year for you. So we're gonna cover everything from journaling to new habits, new hobbies. But first, my favorite thing is making a mood board. So we're gonna go to Pinterest and find some pictures that match the vibe that we're aiming for in the new year. I always make my mood boards on Canva, and sometimes I do a lot of pictures and make them really tiny, or I'll do it more simplistic and have just a cleaner look. Sometimes I honestly make two and then at the end I figure out which one I like better. I think I'm gonna go for a little bit of like a middle ground. I also always find some inspirational Bible verses that target what I feel like I need to work on, whatever I feel like I'm going through, or areas in my life that I don't feel as strong in. And also just some that provide some encouragement so that when I see my mood board, I can just read them and it just gives me the boost that I need. I always keep my mood board as my computer wallpaper. So whenever I go onto my computer, it's always the first thing that I see. And it's super nice to just have a reminder of what you're aiming for this new year in case you ever fall off track or if you forget. I'm doing a mood board instead of a vision board this year. I feel like something that I've been needing to work on personally is letting go of control and trying to control my entire life. So having these encouraging Bible verses on my mood board just remind me that I may have a plan for my life, but God is the one who ultimately directs my steps and he will lead me where I need to go. So I could have like this whole plan for the new year, but it might not be aligned with what he has for me. So I think a mood board is just better to create the kind of vibe that I want the new year to feel like. These are some of my old mood boards that I've done over the years and I've always loved them. Depending on the season, sometimes I'll do a summer, a winter, a fall, spring, you name it.
I probably have made a mood board for it.
I'm focusing less on external goals and like analytical goals. So for me, it's less of I need 10,000 followers by the end of January. I need this many views. I need this, that. It's more of just working like, okay, like I need to work on my patience. I need to work on eating better. All these little habits that I want to start building so that they're more easily implemented into my daily routine and it doesn't feel like a chore, but rather something that is just automatic. Next up, we're going to talk about journaling. Now, let me be clear. I do not journal every day. I don't even journal every month sometimes, but it's something that I want to be more intentional with and that I want to start doing a lot more. I have two journals. One I started new for 2026. I barely have made a dent into this. I wrote down some of my 2026 resolutions, the words of the year that I want to live by. I categorized my resolutions and the goals I'm working toward into lifestyle goals, fitness goals, and career goals. In this context, it's more just content creation goals, but also career goals because I do want to find a job this year. I've been actively looking for a job since I graduated and it has been so hard. That also is another goal that I have. And then my other journal, well, she's a little dirty. She's been through it. This journal I've had since 2022. You know, this one is filled up a lot, but I kind of did want to start a new journal. This feels like my sad journal. It didn't start out that way. It started out as like my venting journal where I would just write down what happened and then how I felt about it. And I think that journaling is the best way to let out all of your emotions and just process events or situations that you're going through or have went through. But I think that we can also prioritize just journaling when we're sad or someone hurt us. But I think it's just as important to journal the good moments and when you feel happy and joyful and the days that you just don't ever want to forget. I did that a lot more in high school. I have like my old journal in my desk where I literally tried to journal every single day and write down what happened. And I'm the kind of person who needs to let out how they feel, whether it's praying or talking to my parents or my sister or even journaling. But also journaling is another way for me to see my emotions on paper and realize what I'm overthinking, being dramatic about, or figuring out what I need to work on. Definitely going to 2026, we need to start journaling more. Moving on to sustainable habits. 2026, we're letting go of the need for perfectionism and extreme and unrealistic routines that feel like a chore to actually complete. And we're bringing in habits that make us feel good and that we can actually maintain even on our worst days. And that could be something as small as making your bed. Habits look different for everyone. It doesn't need to be like a Declaration of Independence long list of habits. It could just be setting aside 5 habits that you want to actively work for in the new year. So for me, that looks like waking up before 10 a.m., preferably 8 to 8:30. As someone who doesn't have a job yet, it's super easy to sleep in, but I want to take more advantage of my time because I miss the morning if I sleep in so late. Or getting ready even if I have nothing to do, working out 4 to 5 times a week, especially pushing through on the days that I do not want to. But it doesn't necessarily have to be weight training. I'm talking more about getting my steps in, or even doing an at-home ab workout. Deep conditioning my hair before every wash because we are taking care of the curls. And finding new hobbies instead of scrolling endlessly. If you guys need some new hobby recommendations, line dancing. I can make a whole separate video about that. Just new hobbies. I want to take up a new language or do a dance class. Speaking of new hobbies, in 2025, I took up scrapbooking as a small hobby because I was making my boyfriend a gift, and I actually fell in love with it. I had so much fun just letting myself be creative and stacking different photos together and creating different themes for different pages. So in 2026, I want to start scrapbooking for myself so that years from now I can look back and see all the memories I've had with my friends. I really love physical copies of photos, so I want to even just make photo albums so that God forbid something happens with my phone, or that I still have photos to look back on and flip through picture books with. And also for my kids, I think about that a lot, where I'm like, I want my kids to be able to like flip through books and be like,
oh, look at mom when she was younger.
There were definitely some things in 2025 that I needed to work on. So going into 2026, I think it's a great idea to give ourselves words that we're striving towards, or words that target areas of our life that we want to better ourselves in. I gave myself 4 words this year to work towards and focus on. So the first word is discipline, and going hand in hand with that is also consistency. Sometimes I tend to go really easy on myself and let myself off when it comes to certain activities like working out or getting discouraged. 2026, we're changing that up and we're actually relying on discipline instead of motivation. Motivation comes and goes, and if I waited for every time I felt motivated to do something, I really would not get many things done. The next word is patience. I definitely don't feel like I am a patient person, and that is something that I've been spending years on trying to work on. So we're learning to be patient in the season that we're in and just let go of control. And my fourth word is faith. My faith is a huge part of who I am, and I want it to be an even bigger part going into this year. So prioritizing my relationship with Jesus and spending more time in my Bible and getting to know more about him is something that I'm actively working on bettering this year. I hope that you guys found this video super helpful and were able to take something away from it. And I hope that you found some inspiration to make 2026 your best year yet and build new habits that are beneficial and contribute to your overall well-being. Comment down below what you're doing to help you reset in the new year, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys!